I do it naturally. Okay, sorry guys. Hello! Alexa, stop playing. Oh, she listened to me for a change. Hey guys, Kirsty Spence here yet again. We're back for the 10th episode of Real Relevant and Right Now. And today we've got a real special guest on called Nef. And this episode is actually called I Faced and Killed the Devil Instead of Dancing with It. And it's going to be a really great show. We're going to be talking a lot about Nef's journey, basically, as she's overcoming addiction. Her journey, you know, she's bipolar type 2. So there's going to be lots of things we're discussing. So I'm just going to wait for a few of you guys to join. And then hopefully we'll get Nef on. Hey, Chelsea. Hey, Kieran. Lovely to see y'all. How are you guys this Sunday afternoon? Hey, Indra. Big love. Shout out to Indra. You're here every week without fail. Love that. Really, really do. Loving that energy. Hey, Jazz. Congratulations, baby girl. You put a ring on it. Wicked. Kieran, you're chilling. Yeah, today's been, I don't know about anyone else. Anyone feel like I've just been really, really chilled out the last couple of days? Like, I've been so grateful actually and blessed just to have time for myself. I've had loads of like time to just do what the hell I want to do, literally. I've had massages, I've had, you know, facials. It's been really lovely actually. Why do I always do this? I love to go in a northern accent. You northerners, don't take mickey out of me. Hey Chelsea, how's your afternoon going? Have you been making any more waffles, darling? Yes, Indra, love that energy. Happier now that you're watching me. This makes me happy. It's going to be a really, really good show. Kieran, don't appreciate this. Thank you. Where's the love? Yes, and Nef is here, guys. So I am going to get her on the screen right now, if I remember how. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we're in. I think I waved it. Nef. Did I wave at you or have I accepted you? She should be here. Good, Chelsea. I'm glad your afternoon's going well. Nef!
Hi.
Hey, my lovely. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You?
Yes, I'm well. Let me just turn it up so I can hear you. That's better. Cool. Right, super. Well, everyone, as I said, this is Real Relevant Right Now, episode 10. And we've got the beautiful Nefretiti on the show today. So, Nef, how's your Sunday been so far?
It's been good. You know, I've just finished work.
Have ya?
Yeah.
What have you been doing here?
Yeah, breathing.
Love it. Me and Nef had a chat the other day and I was saying how I wish she was nearer to me so she could do something with this fro because I'm dying to get it in braids. You know, like when you just need a break from doing your hair. Literally. But, okay. Hey, guys. Thank you all for joining. Really great to see everybody. And, right, Nef, I feel like we should just jump right in.
When you're ready.
Yeah? You ready, Eddie?
Yeah.
Let's do this, you absolute queen. So, as I said to some of you guys that have only just joined, who may not have heard at the beginning of the show, this is episode 10 of Real Relevant and Right Now. And this episode is called I Faced and Killed the Devil Instead of Dancing with It. And we're basically going to be talking about Nef and her journey of, you know, recovery, addiction, the fact that she suffers with bipolar. And we're just going to hear her story. So it's going to be really, really insightful, really real, to be honest. And I just want to say, like, I just think you're really, really courageous, Nef, for actually speaking your truth. Because, you know, in situations like this, you're effectively putting your vulnerability on the line to everyone and saying, hey, this is my journey, you know. And I think that's a real commendable thing for you and definitely a strength in your character for doing that. And I think you're really going to help a lot of people. So I just wanted to put that out there first and foremost.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But okay, Nef, let's start right back at the beginning. What was life growing up for you? Like when you were younger, how was life for you?
It was hard in ways, but I didn't have the worst upbringing. I had a good family. Parents. I think I was a good child.
Boy, sorry.
I think I was good. I told I was good anyway. In me days before it hit 10.
Okay, cool. And so life was pretty good. You didn't really have a rough upbringing. You said you had a family, so you were supported. When did you take to drugs? When did you kind of feel that, hey, was it at first, was it recreational? Was it something that you got in with a bad crowd at school? Kind of how did that journey begin for you?
Probably when I was around 12, I started smoking weed, and that was just the norm, what everybody does.
Which is really quite young. That's very young. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? To start doing something like that.
yeah. I didn't realise at first that I was using it to suppress
Mm-hmm.
at a young age like that, because I suffered with anxiety from when I was about 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realise that till I got older as well. I didn't know what the feeling
Because you've
was.
got to think as well, like back then, mental health and like anxiety, depression, stuff like that is only really starting to be spoken to about
Yeah,
right now. Do you know what I mean? So back then, when we were that kind of age, there was this real kind of taboo, wasn't it? If there was something like wrong
yeah,
with you or you weren't perceived as normal, it wasn't spoken about. So you can really understand that, you know, you figured that there's something different about me. And right now, this is something that aids me. So I'm going to smoke a spliff when I'm feeling a bit nervous or whatever.
yeah. And it did work for a while, until the paranoia came.
Okay.
And then that was probably around 15, but then in between I'd started taking ease and speed, recreational as well to begin with, and it was all good. And then I was drinking all the way through, I think. But
From about
still,
the age of 15.
from about 13 in the park with my mate, as you do.
Mm-hmm.
But then I didn't realise how many problems that I had buried, and the reason why I was doing it wasn't just to have fun, even though I thought it was.
So at that time, it's like you were just drinking and kind of, I suppose at that age, it's like when you're learning a lot about yourself. Do you know what I mean? So when you see your mates having a drink, you're like, yeah, I'm going to have a drink too. So
Yeah,
right then, you're saying back then you didn't kind of identify a problem at all. It was just normality.
yeah, it was normality, yeah.
Yeah. And just before we kind of delve a bit into that, you also suffer from bipolar, right?
Yeah.
When were you diagnosed with bipolar?
I was 22.
Okay, so this is quite
Oh, 23.
23. So quite,
Yeah.
well, early 20s. So yeah, it was quite kind of later on in your life. Did you ever feel that like something's not right? Like I don't
Yeah,
feel normal or
yeah. I thought that from when I was 7.
really?
Yeah, and around that time, was my dad had left family home, um, and went on to have another child.
Okay.
So I started getting all these abandonment issues from then, and then like my dad ended up coming back to the family home, and then there was alcohol involved, domestic violence
Mm.
involved. Yeah.
It was quite turbulent. Yeah, no, so it's quite
Yeah.
turbulent for you.
Yeah.
And just, sorry.
I don't know if that was the way it was with family life all along, or whether it was just from when I remember, from like when I was 10 and onwards. The life that we had to live in
Yeah.
secret.
Okay. No, I hear you. And for anybody that doesn't know, like, can you explain a little bit to us about what bipolar is? Because I think you said you've got type 2 bipolar,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
can you kind of give us a little bit of an explanation? What is bipolar to anyone that doesn't know?
It's a chemical imbalance in the brain. It affects your dopamine, serotonin levels. Um, Mine's bipolar too, so mine's more on the depressive side. I've always been quite a depressed person, uh,
Okay.
with the odd manic episode. Um, the manic episodes are quite erratic,
Right.
and dangerous.
Mm.
Um, Unhealthy behaviours get myself into problems. I have rapid cycling moods, but a lot of the time, towards the end, I couldn't tell whether it was the drugs or the bipolar.
Because obviously it was just you were mixed. So right, okay, so you're dealing with the fact that you've got bipolar and you're also taking a lot of drugs at the same time. So now it's just like a whole mix of things
Yeah.
going on.
It's a dual diagnosis with mental health and addiction, and a lot of people with bipolar or mental health problems seem to become addicts as well.
Yeah, like an addictive behaviour, yeah.
Yeah.
And when you say you had like manic episodes, what were they like? Like, say you were having a manic episode, what would that seem? I mean, can you remember? Are you like coherent within them?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
It'd be everyone else around me. Like
Okay.
my mum would be picking up on like patterns, behaviour patterns.
Right.
I'm going through. She could see it coming for weeks. I think I had them about every 6 months, and they come at the same time every month. But I was in denial. Didn't think I had anything wrong with me.
Okay.
And then yeah, they'd come, and I'd just lose all control, and still even in that state, I'd still think I was normal.
Really? Just
Yeah.
completely kind of in denial, really, of what was going on. Completely in denial.
Because I'd feel good, and I wasn't used to it because I've always been depressed. I'd just think I'll just feel good, leave me alone. But I didn't realise that the dangers that were coming.
No, of course. And do you feel that when you were taking drugs, this brought on these episodes?
No, they did think. They thought, the psychiatrist thought when I was going through my diagnosis, they thought it could have been drug induced. So I had to come off the drugs. This obviously years ago. I come off the drugs for a bit, and my moods were all the same. There was no change.
Okay. And do you now take, or did you back then as well, take medication for your bipolar?
Yeah, but I've always self-medicated on top of the
medication as well.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And that medication, did it make you feel any different? Did it help your mood swings?
No.
No.
Well, probably because I didn't give them
Sorry.
a chance to. Right. Probably because I didn't give them a chance to. I was expecting. I just needed a quick fix. And expecting the medication to fix me. When the medication only solves, as you say, 33% of the problem. The rest is on you.
It's on you now, 100%. And going back to like you, when you were talking about, you know, you started taking drugs, do you feel that it was an escape? You took them to escape reality, or to maybe ease the pain, whatever you were feeling because of whatever had happened?
All of that, yeah. But I didn't realise that that's why I was doing it, because I didn't know I was an addict until probably about a year ago.
Really?
Yeah. But I started saying I was an addict, but I didn't even know what an addict meant until I went into recovery.
I hear you.
I didn't understand it.
And what was your kind of go-to? What was your poison at that time?
Cocaine.
Cocaine.
That was my drug of choice. They say drug of choice, but you don't have a choice. It was my drug of preference.
Okay.
And I drink as well, and smoke.
And do you feel that's because you wanted to feel this high of like being happy or feeling good, because you couldn't get that?
I didn't even feel.
You didn't feel anything. It just numbed you.
Yeah.
Just completely numbed your soul. And how much would you go ahead? Sorry.
Go on. No, it's all right.
I was going to say, when it got, let's say we're like 5 or 6 years into this addiction right now, how much were you drinking, or how much cocaine were you taking per day?
It ranged. It depended on what I could get, or how much I could take off people until I got paid, or I'd go around like different dealers and end up in debt. I'd say on average it'd range between 25 and 100 a day.
Pounds?
That was just on coke. Then I had the drink and my ciggies on top.
So this was like a deep addiction. This was, you were just getting deeper and deeper and deeper in to, I suppose, really self-destructive and sabotaging behaviour. And when you look back on it now, because you've been sober for how long, Neff?
5 months yesterday.
5 months yesterday, which is amazing. Like, high five to you, baby. Literally,
So
keep on this journey. No, I can see it in your face. I can see it in your face. And, you know, be proud of yourself, because I understand that it must be like, you must take every day as it comes.
Yeah, that's the way it is. You've got to stay clean one day at a time. I can't
Yeah.
think about next week.
Yeah. No, it's just
It's
today.
just for today.
Yeah. In the present moment.
Yeah.
When you kind of look back of when you were deep in your addiction, what would you say, or can you remember one of your lowest points? Like a real low moment.
Yeah. I've got quite a few actually, but probably one when I ended up in a mental health hospital for 7 weeks. Yeah, that one, and the last one, it was really low. It was a bad kind of breakup. And to be honest, I didn't even want to be in the relationship, but the whole like situation around what was going on sent me west because I didn't know how to control myself.
Okay.
Yeah, and I ended up self-harming badly at that point.
Really?
Yeah.
And had you ever kind of felt at this point, when you're kind of feeling the way you were, Neff, did you ever reach out for help? Did you ever like seek to speak to a counselor or a family member, or were you just kind of almost oblivious to the fact that there's real stuff going on here and I need help?
Yeah, I was half oblivious, in denial, and get very defensive when people did try and step in and help. Yeah, I think I just got that load with that. I just didn't care. Didn't care what was going on, and half the time I didn't even want to be here.
Yeah. That's like, as yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. And what was the pinnacle point for you that, you know, made you look in the mirror and actually say to yourself, like, I now need to take responsibility for me. This is nobody else's fault. I am accountable for me. Like, what made you make that change 5 months ago?
I'd gone out on a pedal bike. I had a blackout. I dropped my mum's gin, which she hid, but I sniffed it out. It was in a wardrobe somewhere. A big bottle of pink gin. I must have had that, but earlier on in the day I'd had Coke as well, and a few drinks. I'd gone out around in the afternoon time. I think she went to pick my daughter up from school. I'd gone out. The next minute I was at my friend's door, bleeding, covered in blood. Don't know where it'd been, how I got injured, but I'd clearly come off the bike. I don't know how many times because I'd damaged my hand as well.
So you was that out of it, you could not even remember your journey.
I remember, and she phoned my brother, who come to her house, and then she got me changed into her mum's pajamas, because I'd gashed my knee, and they walked me home, and I could barely walk. And when I got back, my mum said I was like sledging down the chair, basically then begging on my knees for rehab.
Really? You just felt like this was it?
Yeah.
That was a pinnacle point for you. And at that moment, like, where was your mindset at? Like, where were you at in your mind? Like, could you even think about seeing tomorrow, or was it just like, no, you didn't want to be here?
No, I was at the point where I'd take that much and drink that much, and then I'd wash it down with me prescribed medication in the night time, which is meant to sedate me because I have problems sleeping.
Yeah.
So I knew at a certain point, if I had no money to get any more drugs or anything, all I had to do was take my tablets before I had my last drink, and then I'd be out of it. And a lot of the time, I went to bed hoping that I wasn't going to wake up the next day. And then when I did wake up, I was like, why am I still here?
That like makes my heart hurt. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously I've been watching your journey, and it's only just been recent, but, you know, like, to see the life and the thrive for life that you have now, to know that, you know, X amount of months or years ago, that's how low you felt.
Yeah.
it's just like, how does that make you feel when you kind of look back and you kind of see that, you know, that you were at that lowest point, that you did not want to be here, you know, knowing that you had your beautiful daughter, knowing that you've got a loving family, everything that you had that was surrounding you, but like you say, you just didn't care. Like, how do you feel now looking back on that to see where you are today to where you were?
It feels amazing. Obviously, when I first come into recovery, there was a lot of guilt and a lot of shame, because I had to really look at myself and look at the things that I'd done and how I treated people, and be selfless instead of selfish. I didn't even realize how selfish I was.
Do you feel like you made friends with acceptance, per se? Do you know what I mean? Because to accept yourself and accept, like, this is the person I am and this is not the best version of me, and I've actually been, you know, a really horrible person, but it's not been, you know, it's not been what I've wanted to be, but it's been the situation I've been. Do you feel like, because I think acceptance is so key in life for growth and for us to say, you know what, I accept that this is me and I want to change?
Yeah, well, that's the first, like, step in recovery, to accept you accept the fact that you're an addict in the end, and you accept the things you can't change.
Yeah. And did you make the decision to go, was it Narcotics Anonymous?
Yeah, that's the fellowship that I'm with, yeah. I
Right.
started off with Cocaine Anonymous, but I've stuck with narcotics now.
Okay. And you made that decision, because I think that's really important.
Yeah, I made the decision to start a place called The Brink
Mm-hmm.
in Liverpool, a recovery program, which is, it's like the first point of call.
Right.
Went there, but then when on the day I didn't even want to go. I just thought, fuck this. Just I went back into denial. Didn't want to be there, and my mum took me, like, I only went to shut my mum up, really.
Really?
That's what I always say, yeah. And I got in there and I just thought, you know what, I don't need to be around these people. I'm not like these people.
Because that's something I wanted to ask you. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, these people are crackheads, they're smackheads. I only have a line, I only have a drink or a spliff. I don't need this meeting until I sat down and I listened to them.
And it was like, whoa.
Yeah, I got a smack in the face.
Yeah, because I saw you doing a post. Sorry to interrupt you. I saw you, I think you posted something and you were saying, you know, how in your mind it's like you completely put yourself over here. Because I do cocaine, I'm nothing like you. You know, you're doing crack, you're doing heroin, but actually addiction is addiction. So what was that like for you when you were in that meeting? Like,
it opened my eyes. I just realised that no matter what drug that you're on, not even drugs, there was gambling addicts and everything there. We was all there with our own issues, but there for the same outcome, wanting to stop in desperation to get out of the life that we were living.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but addiction is a disease.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people maybe don't understand that.
No, it's hard to explain to someone who's
Oh, sorry, you cut out then, Neff. Say that again.
It's hard to explain addiction. I'm still learning myself. I mean, I'm 5 months in and I do know a lot, but I've still got a lot to learn.
Of course.
It's hard to explain it to someone who's not an addict. It's even harder to explain it to somebody who is an addict but is in denial.
Yeah.
Because I know that myself. Over the years, I've been in and out of addiction places filled when I'm on counselling and stuff, and I still didn't believe I was an addict. I knew I needed some kind of help, but it just wasn't registering with me.
It's like the two weren't gelling. It was like you had this issue over here and the word addict is here. And it's like, almost like just still that denial. You didn't want the two to kind of merge together, I suppose.
No, because I didn't want to take responsibility.
Yeah.
For my life and my actions, and the way that I was and the way that I treated people.
When you were in that space, did you feel like the victim?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I'm just plugging this phone in.
No, it's okay. No worries.
I was I victimised like myself a lot.
Mm.
And what I'm unplugging here. Victim, yeah. Victim, but a lot of it is like we're victims of victims. And the thing is, I'm not responsible for my addiction, but I am responsible for my recovery, and I didn't get that. I was waiting for a miracle,
Yeah.
waiting for the right house, the right partner, just the right circumstances, like
Something to
external
sweep you up.
circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah, waiting for everyone to stop pissing me off, then I wouldn't have to take drugs. Yeah, I
So
was
it was
waiting.
almost a deflection on everything possible,
Yeah,
that it was everything around you. It
even
was
things
never
that didn't
you.
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was never you. And it's interesting because I had Clara, who I had on my show last week. We were talking about, things that we go through in life. And she said something that really stuck to me. And she said, life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. And I thought that was so powerful, because it's like when you were then in that place, which you were clearly in, of accepting and ready to take responsibility and accountability, that's when all those boundaries go away. Whether it's to do with the addiction, or my parents treated me like this and this is why I'm like that, or I didn't have money growing up. It's like when you boot all of those away and you say, actually no, now it's down to me to make the steps forward that I need to make for myself to get me to where I want to be. That is really a powerful space to be in, and that's where you're at right now.
Yeah, it's a place that I didn't even know was possible.
Was possible.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be here. I honestly thought I was going to die an addict, and that was the way I was going out.
Mm.
And most of the time, like I said, that's the way I wanted to go.
Just because, and effectively, and when you say it like that, Neff, it's almost like that's the easy way out. The harder way is to do exactly what you're doing right now, And when we are and can find ourselves in those low moments in life, whatever your issue may be, it's kind of like the hardest thing. And that is why I rate you so much, and I have so much respect for you, because the hardest thing is to look in the mirror and say, hey, this is me. And there are millions of people in life that will go through life and never ever do that. And that's why I just think that, like, hail you, literally, because I just think that you're an inspiration. Because I think one of the biggest things, and this is what Real Relevant and Right Now is all about, but what I think is so important with your story is that this is not only going to help recovering addicts that are in your position, that are going through the same journey you are, but I also think it's going to be really inspirational and also allow a lot of understanding, or create understanding for families, like family members that are dealing with somebody that is maybe going through addiction, because I think that must be very difficult. I know you've spoken with me about kind of the relationship between you and your mum, and also you've got a 10-year-old daughter, which obviously, your addiction has affected. Like, what is your relationship like now with her, and how has that been for you throughout this journey?
Well, so she's amazing. She's my biggest supporter. She's there's a lot of guilt, embarrassment and shame around the way that I was in my active addiction. A lot of things I didn't do. A lot of things that I wasn't physically capable of or mentally capable of. I was always there physically, but I was never mentally there. Sort of things that I don't remember about growing up. I haven't done a school run. Probably done about 5, 10 school runs in the past 6 years. Outside of our
Really?
school, mum, the teachers didn't even know who I was.
Really?
Yeah, and that was hard. And a lot of the time, my mum would come and take her to school in the morning, and I'd be out of it, so I couldn't welcome her home from school. Yeah, it was hard, and as horrible as it sounds, but this is real running right now. But a lot of the time, I didn't want her there because she was getting in the way of my using, and so was everybody else. And yeah, it hurts now, but I can start to forgive myself now, because I don't have to keep keep myself trapped in that prison anymore.
No, completely. And you've actually just given me goosebumps saying that, because again, you know, that's a huge thing to even say that out loud and admit that. And I think that's something that is very honourable about your character and you, Neff, is your raw honesty. And I feel like this is something that is actually really helping you in your journey, even just saying it out loud and affirming it. But what I also want to say is, you know, in life, we all make mistakes. We're all human, you know, and the fact of the matter is, yeah, a lot of stuff did go wrong back then, but you cannot walk through life with every bag. The way I see it, say you did 1,000,001 things wrong, and we're always going to make mistakes. And for each thing that you've done wrong, let's say we collect a bag and we put this bag on. The longer we walk through life with all holding these bags, the slower our journey is going to be to evolve, to change, and to grow. And I think the fact that, you know, you've made that decision to go to Narcotics Anonymous, you're in recovery. It's like you've put down those bags, Neff, and you can't allow your past to depict your future. You know, shit did go wrong, excuse my French, but you now have so much time in front of you to start living your best life and doing everything you possibly can for your daughter. And I think that that should be such a key thing that you focus on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I've punished myself enough, I think, because the drug using, that was a form of self-harm in itself. It just showed how much I didn't like myself. I absolutely hated myself. I hated everyone around me, but it was all more towards what I was feeling in myself, and I didn't want to put it out there. Didn't want to put it on anybody else.
No, of course.
Feeling like just worthless, hopeless, but feeling stupid. Like my problems. Just thinking there's people out there going through worse than me, but at the same time, I was going through hell and a war myself, and I just didn't know how to get it out. I've been in and out of counsellors since the school. My school had to refer me to counselling when I was 14.
Yeah.
Self-harming in school, and that was the first time I ever went to a counsellor, and I've just never been able to talk to people, and that was part of my problem. Not reaching out and not speaking, because that was the life that I grew up in. Basically shut up. And
Do you feel like that was learned behaviour? Like, just don't say anything? Yeah, because I think going back to when, I know we're a similar age, it was very much like, I remember growing up, it was kind of, what happens in this house stays in this house, and don't talk your business to this person, that person. And actually, it's been a journey for me to understand that whatever you keep in you will kill you, literally. And I've seen it happen to people around you. Say that again.
It comes out in other ways.
Yeah. And that's when you have that, whatever it is that's in you, whether it's a laugh, cry, anger, you've got to let it out, you know. And that's a real reason as to why I started this show, because I think there's so many people that are still in that position. And if we can have conversations like these about real life, real people that can help somebody maybe get out of their own way, or get out of what they think is the way to think, you know, I think it's just such an empowering thing to do. And it's just a beautiful way of putting positivity out there. And I'm like, it's beautiful to hear you say that, you know, you would never speak to anyone about anything, and now it's like you're this advocate, especially on socials, and you are literally telling everyone your story. And to be that vulnerable, like I said before, to put your vulnerability on the line like that and say, hey, like, it's even making me feel really emotional, Neff. Like, I just think, Guan Gial, literally, do you know what I mean? Because I don't actually think you understand how many people you're probably helping. Like, there's loads of people saying here, you're brave, amazing woman. Do you know what I mean? Thank you for sharing. There's a lot of people like giving you such positivity, and that must make you feel really good.
Yeah, it does. I speak to a lot of people from all over the world who reach out on Instagram and Facebook. It's just nice it's nice to be part of something, and it's like a family.
Yeah.
We're like a family, and you know, all the people that I've met on this journey in Narcotics Anonymous, like they're just real. They want nothing from you but for you to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the best people I've ever met in my life.
And do you feel that when you look back now on kind of your circle, you never had those kind of peoples around you? You know, like people that were there to have the good for you.
Yeah, I've got a few friends who I'll always have friends on. I had a lot of using friends.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I attracted what I was feeling.
And that's
I
really,
attracted
really
the kind of
important,
people.
yeah, to put that out there, because I think
Yeah.
I'm all about energy. Everyone that knows me, I always talk about energy. And I think that, you know, whatever energy you're vibrating on, that's who you attract to you. So if you're vibrating on that low energy, everyone that's going to come to you, they're going to want something from you, or they're going to be on that low vibrational energy, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
From relationships, friends. Yeah.
No, completely.
A lot of people were like, not consequences, but yeah, consequences of my addiction.
Yes.
Like it did come off my addiction.
Which is a revelation in itself to see that, you know, and see where you are now and how you view things and view people, and, you know, appreciate the people around you. Like just going back before when we were talking about your daughter and stuff, you know, it was a blessing that you had the mum that you had, you know, to be there. And, you know, so your kind of daughter didn't miss out, you know, she had that loving person there. And I'm guessing your mum was kind of like your, I don't know, right arm. Was she the one to kind of hold things up there when it came to you and your daughter?
Yeah, she was. But again, to me back then, she was my worst enemy, and I couldn't stand her.
Yeah, I can imagine.
She just got in my way of sniffing and drinking as well. And she'd always interfere. She was just interfering, whatever. She was trying to take my daughter off me. I had all these just mad things going on. She had a plan. I was just that paranoid. But no, if it wasn't for my mum, I wouldn't have her. Now she'd be in the system.
Yeah. So she was like your saving grace, even at the time you didn't see that she was your enemy.
Yeah.
And how are your guys' relationship now?
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I
And
can
that's
see
what
the
my daughter,
happiness in your face fully.
that's what my daughter said as well. She goes, Mum, do you know what's good since you've been clean? She said, you and Nanny don't fight no more.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I know.
No, I love that. And going back to when you were in Narcotics Anonymous, or well, you're still in you're still within that program, yeah, right now.
For life.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, what was there something there? Like, we spoke, and you were telling me that you had to write your story. Like, tell us a little bit about that when you were given that task.
That wasn't with Narcotics Anonymous. That was with the rehab program that I did. It was called Sharp, which I transferred to from the Brink, the first thing that I went to. When you're ready at the Brink, you transfer over to the community rehab program, which allows you to stay at home with your kids.
Right.
But it was a 9 to 5 program, Monday to Friday. But I went in for a week and then we went into lockdown. So I done the whole of my rehab through lockdown at home.
Okay.
On Zoom. And then I graduated from there.
Amazing.
And then I decided that I wanted to change from Cocaine Anonymous to Narcotics Anonymous.
Okay.
Fellowship, and got myself a sponsor. It was amazing.
And for anybody out there that doesn't know what a sponsor is, like, what is a sponsor? How do they help you?
It's someone who's clean, who's working the program, the 12-step program. It has to be the same in the same fellowship as you.
Okay.
Who's been clean for over a year. Basically just a mentor, a guide. You go to.
That you can check in with.
Yeah, you check in regularly. I take anything that you can to your sponsor. Even like the silliest little things, like the decisions that I make now. They're not. I don't make them like that anymore. I've got to connect with my higher power and speak to my sponsor about it before I go and do that. Because I'm still in that. Is this me talking or is it me addiction talking?
Okay. So you want to, yeah, because you said something as well, which I think is, again, just coming from your raw honesty. I read it on one of your posts where you said, you know, life's good, but I still have to check myself.
Yeah.
Like, talk to me. What do you mean by that?
Every day. I'm just constantly I've just got to check in with this higher power, because I can't live life on my own terms anymore, with my own self-will, because look where my own self-will, what I wanted to do, got me in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It got me nowhere. It got me scratching on death's door.
Yeah.
So now it's the program. It's not an I program. It's a we program.
Okay.
So yeah, I have to. My higher power's been there for me. I didn't believe in none of this.
Yeah, because I was
stuff.
going to say, you talk a lot about kind of your spiritual journey. You're referencing like your higher power. Were you a spiritual person before?
No, I thought I was.
Okay.
I didn't have a clue, and I'm still learning now. But it's not something that it's something that you feel.
Yeah.
It's something like you feel, and like my spirit was dead before I came into recovery, and I know that higher power's with me now, because I can feel it.
Mm.
Just one day it just switched, like we was talking about, that light bulb moment. Yeah.
And what do you feel like a connection? Like when you say higher power, what's that to you?
The higher power to me is the universe. Me twins that I lost 6 years ago, and now
Sorry to hear that.
me nan, who's just died last month, has just joins me into my higher power, and it's like I just know that they're there.
So you know there's something more. And there's also something like, I don't know, when you talk about people that have passed, like with me, it's like, and I think you'll completely get what I'm saying when I say this, but I feel like, you know, I lost quite a few people a couple of years ago, and two of them being was my auntie and my grandma, and they were like such huge parts of my life, you know, and there's still that part of my soul, which is really sad that they're not here. But I've learned on my journey so far, it's almost like I have a relationship with them in death, in the sense that if I'm worried or I'm feeling set, like I talk to them every single day. I can't explain it, Nef, like, and I feel them. You know, if I've got something I've got to do and I'm anxious or I'm nervous, it's like I can feel my grandma's energy, or I can hear only in my mind, like what my auntie would say to me in that moment. Like, do you know what I mean? Pick up your drop lip and do your thing, Kirsty. You know, like, and it makes you stand up straight. Like, okay, cool. I've got to do this. I've got to get this done. It's like I almost have a relationship with them in death. Like I believe that they're somewhere, their souls are somewhere, they're just not here physically with me on this earth right now. And I'm such a believer that we are souls living a human experience. And do you know what I mean? I think it's really powerful when you can reach to that. It's almost like a hope that you can have in life, you know.
And I believe that like my twins that I lost it was 6 years ago in March, like I believe that they left to save my daughter, because of, like, there was a lot of guilt around that as well, because I did use and drink sometimes while I was pregnant, so I blamed myself a lot. I was in a domestic violent relationship, so I blamed the other person a lot, and then blame myself because of how much shit I put in my body before that. Maybe my body wasn't strong enough to be able to carry them. But then I also think if I had the two of them, the twins now, I'd have the 3 kids, and maybe I'd have had them, all 3 of them took off me. So I just don't know. I've got a comfort. I find a comfort in the fact that believing they left to save my daughter.
Which is a beautiful, beautiful kind of thing for you to think and to feel. Like you say, it's quite nurturing for your soul, but also for theirs. Do you know what I mean? And I think that as cliche as it can sound, everything happens for a reason. And I'm such a believer in that. And, you know, I always think, even in the darkest of times when we are not understanding what the hell is going on or why this is happening to us, I do believe like the universe has our back completely, you know. And I think you've turned like pain into a real positive there. And I also want to say as well, I was watching an interview actually with Lady Gaga and Oprah, and she said something that really stuck out to me. And she was like, in pain, which is usually grief, we grow. And it's so true, because I feel like, you know, even you just saying that now, look at that growth within yourself, within your soul, to a really, really sad situation. You know, they're somewhere else. They're like ethereal, they're beautiful, they're flying around, and they're out of pain and they're happy. and you're here right now living the life that you're living with your daughter, with your mum, and things can only get better. And I really, really hope and pray that they do for you, because I feel like you're such on this journey. You're just going up and up and up.
Yeah, it is, and it's like I'm not trying to do anything. It's just I'm just leaving it to the universe now. I'm just going with it.
Almost like the law of attraction. What you put
Yeah,
in, you
that's
get back.
exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
completely.
I didn't think I ever deserved anything good in my life, but it's just been one good thing after another. And the person that I've changed into is a reflection of that. I'm doing good, so I'm getting good.
Do you almost
I'm making
feel,
friends.
no, completely. Do you almost feel like the Neff that was 5 months ago is now dead?
I
Like
don't
you've
even know who that
shed.
person. I don't even know who that person was.
Wow. That is so powerful.
I don't, and you know what? A lot of people thought that was normal as well, because I wasn't a horrible person. I was in some ways to some people.
Of course.
But if they could have seen what was inside of that other me,
Yeah.
they'd have ran a mile. But I couldn't escape it at the time. And now, I don't know. It's just
I
no
feel like I
words.
know the answer to this question already, but do you feel like you love yourself?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's a massive thing in the
Yeah, it
Neff
is.
that you are today to who you were back then?
Yeah, and it's shocking from what I was 5 months ago to now, and that's because I've done what's suggested to me in the program. I'm working it to every advantage. I'm taking everything I can out of it. That's my life now. My life revolves around Narcotics Anonymous. Like that has to come first. Like I couldn't not go to a meeting because something's going on. No, that has to work around my meetings.
Yeah. Because you're putting you first right now in this
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
100%. And
Yeah.
you know, I've been listening to Lauryn Hill all day, and she says, you know, how are we gonna win if we ain't right within? And it's so true. Until you fix whatever is in, you can't. Nothing else is gonna work. And again, going back to acceptance and looking in the mirror, you know, you are literally, self-love is the very first romance, and that is what is happening right now. It's like you're blooming and you're blossoming by re-falling in love with yourself, which is,
it only took me nearly 30 years.
yeah, but you're doing it now, and that's the
Doing it
main
now.
thing, Neff, and that's beautiful, you know, because you can still meet people in life that have just never ever, and will never ever, unfortunately, in this lifetime, learn that lesson, you know. And I think that is a beautiful reflection for you anyway, because you know, it's when you can actually look back and actually understand these things in life are happening to me because I've just been ignoring them, and now I'm starting to learn them.
I
Hey,
was so closed to my negative thinking and my negative beliefs, and everything was just negative around me. My attitude, and that's a lot to do. A lot is the attitude
yeah,
towards it.
and your
Life wasn't
mindset.
life wasn't shit. Everything around the people weren't shit around me. The area wasn't shit. I was feeling shit. It was me. It was what was going on inside of me that I had to go back and dig deep into my past, into my childhood, as part of the program.
Yeah,
Things that I didn't even want to go back
and
and look at.
face.
And I had to, and there was things I've burst into tears when I'm reading these things out, because we have to read them out to the drug counsellor and the group, as part of the program, to face it and get over it. And I've cried at things that I didn't even know still affected me.
I hear you, because you pushed them so deep.
Yeah, buried them that far down that I'd even forgot about them.
And that's like another realization. And I think as well, the hardest thing for us men and women is not to learn, but to unlearn. Like when you were talking about, you had certain negative mindsets, you know, you have to look back, and it's like unpicking a needle with a thread and then re-stitching it back up in a completely different way. But that is
yourself a few times.
Yeah, 100%, because you're not going to get it right. No one's perfect. You're not going to get it right first time. So, you know, yeah. And I also think that is something in life that is forever evolving. We're forever going to have new mindsets, new ideas, different perspective. And it's like, okay, when I find myself in this moment, I need to just delve back in, unpick, and let's start again. Do you know what I mean? And I just think that's a really powerful thing. Hey,
It's okay to make mistakes.
100%.
If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning.
Yeah, definitely. And we spoke a little bit about this last week on last week's show, and I was saying, you know, a lot of us have this whole idea of perfection, and it's like it can be so damaging.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Without failing and without making mistakes, you're never going to be successful in what it is that you're trying to achieve. So we have to mess up.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely. Nev, what does a day in the life of your mind look like today?
Say flowers.
I love that.
Just sort of, you know, like some kind of like psychedelic thing without the drugs.
Hear you.
Like with all like nice colours.
Like colourful, happy, positivity, love.
Yeah.
I love that.
Peace.
Yes, peace is such an important thing. Do you feel peaceful within your soul?
Yeah, I do.
You feel like you found peace?
Yeah, and I'm still finding it. I'm going to be finding it forever.
Continuously.
Yeah.
No, completely.
Sticking to this, I'll never forget where I come from because I never want to go back there.
No, definitely. And Neff, I've got a question. Have you ever felt judged, or do you feel judged even on the journey that you're in right now? Like, do you feel people judge you? And if you do, how do you deal with that?
I don't, because whatever people have got to say is not my business.
Love that.
And to be honest, like back then, I didn't really care because I was that loaded. I probably didn't even notice people talking anyway, and I wasn't interested because of what I'd done in front of anyone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That was just the way that I was. I'd sniff lines off my hand in the street. Just not normal things like you do.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
A normal person would go and do behind closed doors, where I just didn't care at the end.
You completely just, nothing mattered. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. That is how much you just literally had no self-love, no respect for yourself. It was just, no, I hear you.
I had no self-respect whatsoever, and I let other people disrespect me too. But then at the same time, then I blamed them for that, but at the same time, that wasn't my fault. I let them do that.
And I think that's a massive thing to accept as well sometimes, especially when people have done you wrong, and you can say it was your fault, you did this to me, boom, boom, bam.
That was one of the big things. If you drink, if you had to live with this person as well, like, if she done that to you, you'd batter her the same way that I did, and that's not right.
No.
The way that I've acted, like I got violent, I saying violent, and blamed it on because of what people done to me.
Yeah.
I felt disrespected, but I didn't have no respect for myself anyway. So then I've hurt other people because I thought they deserved it, and I just know that I wouldn't do these things if I was clean.
Yeah, because all of those things, when you connect those dots, they're all low vibrational things. The violence, the anger.
Yeah. I just would not do any of those things that I did. Being clean, I just think it's insane, and it is. It's insanity.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and you've come so far. And like I said, Neff, I don't know you. We've only just spoken like this week, and we connected through a mutual friend. But I just feel so proud of you, and I just want you to stay on this journey because I just think you're so strong. And I also feel that you being so open and vulnerable is really helping your journey. Am I right? Yeah. But you're helping so many people, and I think even that, when you're talking about the universe and the law of attraction, you're putting so much good. You're going to get all that karmically back, you know. And I understand that addiction doesn't just disappear. It's a fight every day, you know.
It's there for life, and I've got to be so careful. And like I said, check myself every day because it can easily come back in. I've been on meetings where there's people who were back on a meeting after 3 days who've relapsed after 30 years.
Yeah.
So and the only way that you can relapse is if you stop doing the things that are suggested and
Yeah,
following the principles of the program.
100%. So it's about
Or
fighting that good
another one,
fight.
another one is forgetting that you're an addict. I've always got to remind myself now I'm an addict.
That you're an addict.
Because if I forget, then I'll think it's okay to go and do something just once because I haven't had it for ages.
Yeah.
So I can just have one and that's it. I might never come back from that.
Of course. Which is, you know, a serious thing. And I think that that's really actually a very, very valid point that you've made to a lot of people, and for people to hear that, you know, it's almost like, and I know it's a completely different situation, but it's like something that I can relate to. Like, you know, if I've been on a diet and then I think, oh, I'll just have one thing. And then, you know, by the end of the week, I've had brownies, chocolate, sweets, this, that, the other.
Yeah.
And it's just like a human, it's like a human thing to do, isn't it? You have one, then you think, oh, I'll have a little bit more, I have a little bit more. And so, yeah, I think that's really valid to actually saying what you've pointed out there, is that you need to remind yourself every single day that you are an addict. You can't forget that.
Yeah.
Literally. Someone's just written, I'm so emotional right now watching this. You're so open and honest the whole way through. You are amazing. Well done. So very proud of you. I don't know if you know that person. But, yeah, there's loads of positive comments, Neff. But quickly, just before we go, because we've literally got 5 minutes, I feel like we could just keep talking for hours. But I want to ask you 2 questions here. What advice would you give to any families that may be struggling with a family member, or it's a niece, a nephew, son or daughter, that is also, you know, struggling with addiction? What advice would you have to them or for them to enable them to kind of, I don't know, like, you know, like we said before, it's difficult for family members when you've got somebody that you love that is struggling with addiction.
It is. It's very hard for family members, and we as addicts don't see that. We don't see what we put our families through and what we do to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never stole money or anything off me mum or anyone. No. But I did. I stole things that mean the most. Like, I stole the time, the peace of mind, I left them with worry. And wondering whether they was going to wake up to a phone call saying that I was dead. But the thing that I would say to families is you have to be patient.
Patience is key.
Patience is key, and if they do find recovery, just remember that we didn't become addicts in a day, so it's not gonna
Be done in a day.
Not gonna be done in a day. It's a lifelong process.
Yeah.
And pressuring people, it obviously, if you know anyone and you're trying to tell them that they're addicts, if they're still in denial, it's not going to go in.
Yeah. It's their journey.
I'm going to register.
No.
Until they themselves say, right, I'm done.
Yeah, of course.
Then there's nothing that you can say to them, and I know that myself, because there's been years of everyone begging me to go to rehab, threatening me with social services, and nothing worked.
Yeah. So all you can really do, like you say, is have patience and love them, even if it's from a distance.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Because you have to think about yourself as well. Sometimes you do have to step away. Like, I lost a lot of people on my journey who have got, not lost people on the journey, lost people in active addiction.
Yeah.
The real ones are back in my life. But that had to happen.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Because they had to look after themselves too. There is also support networks for families of addicts. There's meetings in the actual fellowships, like Narcotics Anonymous. If you look online, you'll see like families of, and there'll be all kinds of families.
Yeah, which I think is really important as well, just to help family members gain an understanding, and also know that there are other family members out there going through the exact same thing, you know.
And the person in question doesn't even have to be in recovery.
Yeah.
Just families seeking help and what to do. And the people I love to watch, Russell Brand.
Yeah, he is wicked.
Yeah, he's a bad man.
Yeah, no, definitely. But Neff, listen, we've literally got 30 seconds. So I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your story. Everyone on here has been putting so many positive comments. They're sending you love, keep pushing. Somebody said, you know, you speaking your story is helping her with her journey. So I just want to say to you, keep doing what you're doing. Keep fighting that good fight, as my grandma would say. And just thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm Kirsty Spence. This is Real Relevant and Right Now. Nefretiti, thank you. Big love, baby.
Thanks for having me, babe.
Mwah. Bye.
Bye.